kombinacja lub można pojechać dłużej na przeszkody przypominające przeszkody parkurowe. 15 grup, przykład numer 16 to już Tomek. Kierujemy się w stronę kompleksu wodnego firmy Lotto. I ten kompleks poprzedza skok przez stół, czyli przykładu numer 17. Dalej skok do wody, w wodzie wąski krok i po wyjeździe z wody skok przez korę. Jedziemy na parkour, na przeszkody z numerem A i B. Czekają dwie przeszkody przypominające właśnie przeszkody parkurowe, które można strącić, ale oczywiście nie namawiamy do tego. 11 punktów karty zamachowe. Wracamy. Skok przez wodę do wody. Wyjazd z wody jeszcze jeden skok do wody przez duży domek, duża stacjonarna. W wodzie ustawiony jest trudny korner, ale można jechać alternatywnie.
Ladies and gentlemen, the warmest of welcomes. You join us with 5 minutes to start until the cross-country phase here at leg 3 of the FEI Eventing Nations Cup series for 2018. We're in the south of Poland at the famous Strzegom venue. Strzegom has had such a rich history with eventing. It did host the World Cup finals here in 2009. That was the first time ever the World Cup finals were held in Eastern Europe. Then we had the junior Europeans here in 2012. The young riders came here in 2015, all preparing for last year's absolute feast, which was the FEI European Eventing Championships. And that saw individual gold for Ingrid Klimke. Mikkel Jung took the silver. Unusually, over the recent decade, that Mikkel Jung was relegated off top position, and the British team won the gold medal in the team competition. But this is leg 3 of the 2018 FEI Eventing Nations Cup series. The opening leg was in Vairano, just to the south of Milan. Giovanna Mazzocchi-Bordoni's wonderful Italian leg over Captain Mark Phillips's cross-country that saw the French win the opening leg of the year, and that gave them 100 points. And then we went to Houghton Hall in Norfolk for leg 2, Alec Lahore's beautiful run competition out on the east side of England, and that saw a great victory for Germany. However, it is Sweden that heads up after the only nation to start both Houghton Hall and Vairano, so the Swedes are leading on 150 points. We're then tied in second, both on 100 for those wins at Vairano and Houghton Hall respectively. And that's a tie for Germany and France. And I can tell you the position after dressage. 39 combinations started before the grand jury. Nick Burton, the president, Jane Tolley as well from Great Britain, and Xavier Lesource from France. They put France in a commanding position once again. They lead on 93.4, which is an 8.1 penalty advantage over Sweden. The series leaders, 101.5 for Frederick Bergendorf's trio, and the defending Strzegom champions, Germany. They won here last year, in addition to being the series champions of 2017. For the 4th occasion since the series' inception in 2012, Germany on 102.9, only 1.4 behind Sweden. Germany in 3rd position, and then it's tight again because Italy 103.8, they lie in 4th, only 0.9 of a penalty behind Germany. Britain have got to play a good game of catch-up. They were super in the first 2 phases in Norfolk, but a disappointing cross-country means that Philip Searle's trio are here to really get some points on the board. Britain on 104.2, not out of touch of either Sweden, Germany or Italy. But France are about 11 clear of the Brits in 1st place as we stand. Problems for the home nation for Poland. They had some electric dressages yesterday. Matthias Kemper, their anchor man, remedied some of the damage. Poland in 6th position on 123.7. And our back markers on 176.5 because they had to lose one in the dressage, sadly. So added 100 under the new Tokyo 2020 Olympic format rules, which have certainly showcased a big difference. We'll come to that in a moment. But Katrin Kodem-Hazrati had 100 because she had to come out of the dressage. A little bit of blood from Cosma's mouth, which means that Austria is starting on 176.5. There's our trailblazer. As 3 o'clock is fast approaching with just 2 minutes on the clock until Marco Biasia will lead us around Marcin Konarski's fascinating test. It's certainly intense. It's just over 3.5 kilometers at 3,648 meters, and the optimum time is 6 minutes and 24 seconds at top speed in international eventing, 570 meters every minute. And I tell you, it's twisty, it's intense, there's a lot of technical combinations, and the overall feeling in the riders' camp, that time of 6:24 is going to prove very hard to attain. The position individually, it was an outstanding test for Marie Krak to lead the way with Havana Club, 26.1, and Linda Algerson with Fair Spot, the first ever winner here in 2003 of the World Cup, is second, and Yoshiaki Oiwa, he was third at Le Moulin recently. Yoshi is third again with the Duke of Cavan, his ride from Rio on 28.2, the top three after the dressage. But here we go. The Cower Nations Cup trophy and the Lotto individual trophy running concurrently is live, and we're delighted to welcome the first of our 38 to get underway. Marco Biasia sets off with this beautiful Self-Francais 11-year-old making their 3-star debut as a pair. It is Trésor de la Loge just turning the circle between the first combination. They are separately numbered 3 and 4, but they are related on that left-handed curve. It's a nice soft introduction because the technicality and the intensity ramps up as they come across the road onto the main hippodrome here in Strzegom. Past our TV compound, they'll drop down across the road, and this big yellow oxer is wide. It's on the MIMS clip, that Swedish design safety system to avoid the rotational fall. But Trésor de la Loge is in cruise control early on. As Marco Biasia now, this right-handed shallow curve to the first proper combination. He goes up a little mound here, quite a sharp climb it is, to a very vertical set of rails. One forward stride here, and Trésor de la Loge just powers through the middle. Superstar for Italy. Marco Biasia beautifully through those Ursus tractor combinations. That's a little bit down the hill. Quite a forward 2 strides in there. Needs an attacking positive approach and gets it. Now down to this yawning trachea. Was the same fence for the European Championships last year. It's meaty. Trésor de la Loge absolutely in top gear. Very positive starts. 4 World Equestrian Games for Marco. Completed in Rome, the home World Equestrian Games. This is the combination 9A, that's B, and it's a serpentine line here. That's 10A and B in first blood. So Marcin Konarski, our course designer and event president, as he just nips out the right side, sadly. At that duel, it's 10A and B. If you take on that very skinny brush arrowhead, it's treacherous as we've just seen. That's the longer route, 10AB, the dark logs on the right side. If as we go throughout the afternoon they decide that straight route is a little bit overcooking it, and of course the Tokyo 2020 Olympic format, only 3 riders per team now. Big change, there's no discard score, so every team member has got to deliver consistent, strong performances to have any chance of a team victory. We just saw the rear view of Wills Oakton, Britain's #1. He is on the early part of the course with Cooley Ramiro. But now we watch Marco Biasia down to this picture frame, and Trésor de la Loge is improvising, chipping in an extra gallop stride over that very serious set of rails in the middle of the ditch.
well truly gone for our riders in Italy. As Wheels Open starts to put a swift out with Julie Ramiro.
Marco Biasia through the first of the 4 water complexes. They get gradually harder and harder as they come through the Nations Cup course. The first one is a little pipe opener. Whet the appetite for the serious main courses that are around the corner. But now Julie Ramiro just coming to this mound double of verticals, and again pops through the middle beautifully. This has been a super venue for Great Britain. Team European gold medal winners last year. Philip Sir would love to get a good result. A little bit disappointed the Brits after dressage. They've got to play catch up on the cross country. But as we're already seeing, it's likely to be influential. But not to forget, this is Trésor de la Loge's first 3 start with Marco Biasia. So that perhaps was just a newbie rookie mistake at this level, because he's otherwise looked very, very solid. Through the double, those big oxes again there, also hung over from the Europeans last year in the main arena. But now we watch the lady who won the first ever Strzegom World Cup here back in 2003 with her super Stand By Me. She went on to win the overall World Cup series that year and the year after for good measure. Linda Algertsson is away. 2 rides for Linda this afternoon, and this is the first of them. It is her Rio Olympic ride on course. The homebred Fair Net, bred by Margareta and Bo Krista Algertsson, Linda's mum and dad in Sweden. Linda has an incredible record, 5 Olympics. She was 13th individually in Hong Kong, was her best finish individually, 5 World Equestrian Games, and 4 Europeans, an incredible pedigree. Not only 4 Europeans, but 2 individual silvers, Punchestown 03 and in Le Moulin 19 years ago in 99, impressively. And again, both of those were with Stand By Me. And the Swedish team absolutely poised to attack if France falter. The French advantage, 8.1 it is, but that's not a lot. That's 20 seconds on this, what we think is going to be influential cross-country on the time side of things, let alone the jumping. And Fredrik Bergendorf has got his Swedish riders in a super positive mode. He really has. Has taken over Fredrik from Staffan Ludbeck, the former Swedish chef to keep. And again, like Great Britain, Strzegom a very happy hunting ground for Sweden. That great silver medal here in the team competition behind Britain last year. It's left them with a good taste in their mouths. A couple of walkers get a little alarm call as Fair Net rattles past them. This is the first viewing of the longer option on the right side of the direct route at 6. Adds an element, and we think about 3 or 4 seconds, but no real damage in terms of time. This pair 45th at the Rio Olympics. They did have 2 run-outs on Pierre Michelet's Olympic course. Cross-country of recent years has been a little bit checkered for Fair Net, sadly, but early signs are good here. Perhaps that's why Linda opted for that longer option at 6, just trying to get him into a positive cross-country mode. They were in great form in 2015 up until the Olympics with no problems across country over 2 years. So the rather stuttering recent form is a bit of an anomaly for this super homebred horse for Linda Algertsson. But now, this was the downfall of Marco Biasia, turning to 9. And the Polish challenge is now started. The home nation kick off their Strzegom challenge. It's Joanna Pawlak on the course. And this is her own fantastic Frida. Hanoveraner mare, she's only 9. Just to put that age in context, we've got a few 9-year-olds. The youngest horses in the field, we've got a pair of 8-year-olds. And also we've got the old boy, the oldest horse in the field is Noida Vati. Ben Vogg's great campaigner at 17, a real span of the ages. So Linda again plays safe. That's the second long route for Fairnet. Up over 10 AB. Maybe she saw the problems of Marco Biasia, but I think not, given her quite recent start after Marco had left the box. So probably, and in addition to that first long route, that's her plan, to get a safe clear with a few long routes. But this lady, I don't think will be playing that game. She is so determined. And Joanna Pawlak started this horse from when she was only 5 years of age, so she's reduced Frida right up through the grades, which is very impressive. Formerly owned by Jan Ofart, this horse, Sandra Ofart, the world champion's brother. Joanna now 27 years of age. Linda Algertsen just coming down to this opening water. The granite wall in, 5 strides to the boat. And now the decision here to the corner. Yeah, Linda again is going to swing round, tackle the longer option here. So clear plan is emerging. As we just see the brim of Joanna Pawlak pops through the early combination at 6 AB. Beautifully, it's riding really well in this class. It was a little bit dicey in the long 3-star, the CCI 3-star earlier. We had Elaine Penn Shady Grey adding a second stride. We had a few problems for others as well. Fantastic Frida, looks feisty early on, right up for this demanding Marcin Konarski course. I talked to both Hans Meltzer, who thinks the course is tricky, was his word. And also Philip Searle, the British chef, he thinks there's plenty to do out there. It's going to need attack, but a controlled attack. Fantastic Frida looks as happy as a sand girl. Not over that Tropicana at 8, but yes, sadly, Linda Algertsen has a run out in the middle of that water complex at the roll top skinny. And in fact, we catch up. She did also have a run out the first attempt. We didn't see that up on top of the hill, that brush arrowhead at 10B, so that is the second run out for Fairnet, I'm afraid. But Joanna Pawlak is looking super here. She's got a lot of experience, this young lady. She has completed 3 youth Europeans, 2 juniors and 1 young riders. 08 in Thurleston Castle up in Scotland. 09 was in Belgium at Waregem, and Pardubice locally to Strzegom in the Czech. And they were all in the top 35 individually. Fantastic Frida makes her 7th 3-star start this weekend. Still looking up in the bridle, in the hand of Joanna. Big jump in over the water, the granite wall, the boat, and will she take the corner? Yes, she does. Beautiful little curve. That's how to ride it. The mare was just fighting for her head a little bit. Joanna just sat still, kept the hand as soft as she could, and beautifully through that demanding first water complex. Joanna Pawlak now turning to the second water at the skinny roll top. Now the Lotto corner, and gets it as well. They are flying. This is super to watch. As she'll now gallop into the main arena. She's just coming up to the 5-minute marker. 6:24 is the time we're looking for. As Joanna Pawlak powers into this arena double of oxes. Going to be 5 or 6 strides in between these two very tall, very wide fences. as we say, relics of last year's European Championships. A fantastic Frida is absolutely purring along as Joanna Pawlak now starts to think to the home journey. But this last water is the one big sleeping policeman that is just going to slow her pace and really focus this pair's minds. This is the hanging log before the last water. It's just beefy and big, but it's this left-handed turn. It's very sharp here. There's a choice, either 3 strides powerfully or a 4 on a curve. Yeah, 4 strides on the little curve comes off as well. Joanna Pawlak is flying home. Poland are off to the dream start here. And I tell you what, for a 9-year-old mare, this has been an exceptional performance about to complete. But now, Germany, the defending champions here in Strzegom and the series champions of 2017. Germany have been so dominant over the last 6 years, ever since the inception of the Nations Cup series. The only team eventing competition in the world started in 2012. Germany have won it on 4 occasions. And Nicholas Bashora is away. The German trailblazer, he starts on a dressage of 38.8. But now, the Polish TV, of course, is with Joanna Pawlak, as she is now through the last combination. 25 A and B, just the finale at 26 to come. It's been a mature, determined performance. And well done. Joanna Pawlak crosses the line. I'm delighted for her. She's 27, and her boyfriend in the black top clearly over the moon. Well done to her. The first to come home with a beautiful clear is for Poland, but I can tell you as well, we didn't see a lot of him, but Wills Oakton, the first out for Britain, was also clear. 6:36 was his time. 4.8 time penalties for Wills with Cooley Ramiro, so Britain off to a very good start. 37.5 with the 4.8 time to add for the Brits. Nicholas Bashora starts off beautifully. The first out for Germany. He's only young, he's 23 years of age, this man. He's in his 2nd year at medical school down in southern Germany. Just locally, his university to Nuremberg. Little bit stuttery on takeoff is Shostakovich, but he rights himself impressively through those Ursus tractors down the hill at 7. Nicholas has his horses based about 180 kilometers away from university, so he's toing and froing a lot, commuting between medical lectures and dissecting rooms, etc. And his lovely horses, Tom Go, who went superbly in Le Moulin. And this very interesting Sir Shostakovich, who's just coming now to this really slippery serpentine line. 9A, 5 strides left-handed turn. Will he take on the straight route here? Yes, he does, beautifully through the middle. Really just powered up there. Didn't go quickly, but just bounced along in the canter. And that's just how to do it. We were there with the German team, walking carefully, of course, with Hans Meltzer out on the cross-country yesterday evening. But now we come to a crucial round for the dressage leaders and Olympic champions. France are on course. And François Lemieux gets underway. 33.1 is his start score. Nicholas Bashora turns, kind of angles across the boat. Ooh, was a long way off that big corner, but Sir Shostakovich sticks to his guns and jumps it very impressively. François Lemieux, important pathfinding mission here for France as they try and double up their money, having won the opening leg at Vairano. Just tracking down over a big yellow oxer at 5 with Augustin Duterroir. The medical man, Nicholas Bashora, Soshostakovich. Yeah, super through the lotto. Second water crossing. That corner's pretty tiny in its face. They've got to jump. Needs a very good turn after that roll top, which was the downfall of Linda Algerson earlier. Francois Lemierre, yeah, just flaps his arms. It's quite long in there. Just cocks his head back to check one of those MIMS systems hadn't been activated, which will, in the modern rules, have an 11-point penalty added if you collapse a frangible, where the grand jury determined that it saved your horse from falling. So Shostakovich still fired up here as he turns into this imposing log into the third water. Now 22, this roll top back into the final water, and the corner is 23A and B, and Shostakovich. Oof, wow. Oh, what a shame. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, poor Nicholas. The horse jumped in very, very big, and he was honest to jump that corner, but it took a big effort from the horse, and sadly bounced out the saddle, Nicholas, but great to see him jogging off to catch Shostakovich. But I'm afraid that is elimination out on the course for Nicholas. Francois Lemierre powers out over that big ditch and brush. Augustin de Terroir, a South Francais bred, as are all of the French horses this afternoon you're going to see. 29 years of age only, Francois, and he started eventing only 11 years ago, 2007. This big son of the great Canaan zips over that picture frame, meaty set of upright rails. Canaan has got a lot of top show jumpers, including the likes of Pedro Venice's Quabri de Lille, superbly bred for the phase tomorrow. But now we focus because Yoshiaki Oiwa is on the course. Yoshi had a brilliant dressage day yesterday. He had 2 horses in the top 5. And this is less experienced horse. It's Calais, the horse that Peter Thompson produced in northern Germany. 11-year-old Holsteiner for Yoshiaki Oiwa. And they really set history last year in motion for Japan. Became the first ever 3-star CCI victory by claiming the big Brahman Prize in Northern Yorkshire in the UK. That was a really superb moment for this brilliant horseman, who turns 42 later this year. Francois Lemierre. Oh, so confident. Just smooth through that demanding second water. There was no question he'd hold the line there. This South Francais, he's 16 years of age this time. His dam side's also a famous name, Galoubet A, the father of the great Baloubet de Rouet, 3 times on the bounce World Cup final winner with Rodrigo Pessoa, Helsinki, 98, 99 in Gothenburg, and 2000 in Las Vegas. And yeah, clean heeled through those big oxers. They did go to the Young Rider Europeans in Jardy 5 years ago now, in 2013, at home in France. Team gold it was, and individual 8th position for this rising talent. Francois Lemierre now comes to one of the crunch points, critical here. The roll top to corner, final water, and beautifully straight. Rips through the middle like an arrow out of a crossbow. No question Augustin du Terroir was going to jump that clear. And France's lead man has put them off to the perfect start on the cross country. And he's galloping for home with a lot of juice left in the tank. Well, with Yoshiaki Oiwa and now Laszlo Egied on the course, we're through the first rider rotation. This is our group of 7 individuals that come back to back to split up the first and second team rider rotations. We welcome Laszlo Egied from Hungary. He's on the early part of the course. But now we watch François Lemierre powering home. It's been an absolutely exhibition performance from the young Frenchman, and the dressage leaders keep their advantage intact. We wait for the time with fascination. I can tell you that Hannah Pavlak was home in 6:49. That was 10 time. Quickest so far is Wills Oakton, the first out for Britain, with 4.8. Bated breath for the French time, but Yoshiaki Oiwa, Calais, sets sail through the second water. Absolutely tears through the straight route. Not a glimmer of panic there from the young Calais, and the experienced Yoshiaki Oiwa. He's off to a flying start.
Well, the timing, French rider, Augustin is 6:44, so they pick up 8 time penalties from their round. It looked pretty fast, but as they stand, it keeps Team France right up there in the running. A great round there for France. We're now running individual riders from the teams. We have Yoshi out there and Laszlo for Hungary with 5 wins. So Yoshi turning to the water pop-ups, lots of water, looking for the corner, beautiful ride there, quiet, smooth, controlled, beautiful round so far. 4 fences left to go to the finish, 5 fences to the finish. Nie udało się skompletować drużyny, ponieważ startuje tylko Yoshiaki Oiwa, który nawet zrezygnował na jednym z swoich.
Laszlo Egied, my win just coming into our sights. Down over that yawning ditch and brush. Lotto, the individual trophy sponsors here this afternoon, and title sponsors of the Strzegom International Horse Trials, this brilliant June fixture, celebrating its 15th birthday this year. Hats off to Marcin Konarski and his brilliant team here in producing a course again which everybody's raving about, but rave about this round they should as well, because Yoshiaki Oiwa has given us an exhibition of calm, determined but so controlled cross-country riding. He's got the Duke of Cavan to come, who's even higher after dressage, but that is a cracking round from Calais, and 30.3 was his score. Out onto cross-country again. The time will be fascinating. Laszlo Egied through the second water, and my win is looking very positive. This horse, he's a Holsteiner, the Hungarian horse. We'll come back to him in a moment, because now we focus on the young Ukrainian, and this one of those 2 youngest horses in the field, Karans PKZ it is, only 8 years of age. The same age as a Swedish horse to come later, Caesar with Philippa Magnusson, the 2 young guns in the Nations Cup. Mikhail Karp for Ukraine. Don't look back, Mikhail, it's all good. Well through the combination of rails at 6A and B. My win just looking a little bit flat through that second water. Laszlo Eged gives him a big pat. As I was saying, he's Holsteiner bred. Meiten's the full blood, his direct father. And his dam size, Accord the First, has brought out a lot of good show jumpers, Accord, including the horse that won the Falsterbo Derby a couple of years ago. Accorado, that was a very good winner up in Sweden. For Czechian with Alisher Patrony, as Mikael Karps, 8-year-old, just chips in a stride over that big Trakehner. That takes a bit of confidence to such a massive fence. But now we welcome the young Dutchman away. Geordie Wilkin sets off. He is aboard Berry Spirit this afternoon, a 12-year-old Dutch bred, grey gelding, son of Casco. Well, we see Laszlo Eged, my win. I assume had a problem. We'll confirm that for you in just a moment. Over that corner, looked to me like he circled after a first run out. He maybe took that intermediate longer option. We'll confirm that for you in just a second. But the news I can tell you is we have the first inside the time. He was as smooth as a tiger in a tuxedo. Yoshiaki Oiwa has coasted home 1 second inside. It's the first perfect round on Marcin Konarski's cross-country course for Japan. Mikael Karp, he's had a few dicey moments. There's some big enough ditch fences. I imagine the 8-year-old Cadence is a little bit goggle-eyed out there. He's never seen a course like this in his life. It is his first ever 3-star, as well as being 8. So really doubling up the demand of this cross-country. But Laszlo Eged is coming home. Just waiting still for news on that corner question in the final water. But the Hungarian has gone very well out on the course. And yes, my win completes the Strzegom Nations Cup for the Lotto Trophy as an individual rider for Hungary. Well done to them. We'll give you the news in just a moment. I can tell you that the news has come through. Not about Laszlo, but about Mikael Karp. He did pick up 1 run out up at 10B, up on top of the hill. Geordie Wilkin just settles down Berry Spirit into these Ursus tractors. Well, that came up beautifully for the powerful grey. Geordie makes this important turn back to this serpentine triple. Berry Spirit just looking a little bit distracted here to me. Come on, Geordie. Well, did he take on that brush arrowhead? I expect he did. I just have a question on whether they quite have the control. We'll see with the scoreboard. But now we welcome the young Dane is on course. Camilla Saber Hansen gets out of the start, blocks aboard her own Zathargo. Well, good to see Geordie Wilkin still coasting along out on the course. I can tell you that sadly there was a tumble at 13 for Mikael Karp. The Ukrainian did have a fall at 13. Which was the first element of the water. So Geordie Wilkin now coming to that water complex. That's just flashing through your picture is the young Dane, Zathargo. Camilla Hansen just dropping down towards the big yellow oxer, back onto the main hippodrome. She's got a lot of experience, this young lady. She's competed in a total of 6 European Youth Championships, 3 ponies in 09, 08 and 07. Then the juniors went very well with Zanzibar in Portugal, Vale Sabroso, 5th individually there. And then the young riders went equally well, 5th again with Zanzibar in southern Sweden in 2012. As Geordie Wilkin now down in the Lotto water to this corner, but no, sadly. Berry Spirit ducks out to the right-hand side. I did think it's a demanding line. It's a very narrow face they must tackle. They've got to jump the roll top and make quite a definite turn into it to give the horse enough kind of visual sighting of it. As you can see, it's just sat there on the top of the brow. So maybe the horse doesn't quite lock on early enough. Zathargo looking in full cry, ears pricked, bolt forward here. As Camilla Hansen travels down to the big Trakehner at 8. And the little chestnut, he's only about 15.2, this little guy, pops over it for fun. Geordie Wilkin makes his turn in the main arena to these yawning grey oxes. Berry Spirit just a little bit battle-torn to me, but he's going to come home, I'm pretty sure. However, that big last water complex is looming around a couple more corners. Zathargo looking hungry to keep going here. Camilla Hansen has started beautifully. But now we focus. Geordie Wilkin for the Netherlands under the watchful eye of Bettina Hoy, the team trainer. Circles back to this. Nails hard final water complex. Oh, Berry Spirit jumps in for fun. That was beautifully ridden and beautifully jumped by Berry Spirit. They didn't lose any confidence for that duck out of the water crossing 2 previously. That was brilliantly navigated. And the 25-year-old Dutchman heads for home with some 5 more fences to jump. Zathargo down to this granite wall, the first water complex. That again is a bit of a decision point, because you've either got to kind of cut across the angle and take a stride out, or as we think the favoured route is to curve a little bit. Probably put 5 strides in rather than 4 across the angle. Rather eliminates the risk of a run out as well. It's early on the course, you can adjust your horse's stride a little bit easier than in the last water, for example, when they're long and drawn out. As Geordie Wilkin comes home, he's had that 1 run out of the water, but it's just 20 on the card at 19B for the Dutchman. Well, this is impressive, I must say. Camilla Hansen is eating this course for breakfast. She takes off the red right-hand flag, but no question of a penalty. Out over that Lotto corner. Camilla completing in only her second 3-star. She was at the beautiful Svionchitsky ran Babarovko horse trials for her first 3-star. That was in the back end of May. Roman Roskovich's incredible €100,000 prize fund across the divisions, and €80,000 for the 3-star alone attracted the world #1 in Oliver Townend, who won the top prize. And Tim Price as well was there, the world #3, as was Camilla Hansen. And I must say that has tuned her up absolutely perfectly. As they've kept up a strong, powerful rhythm. And this little chestnut, his second 3-star, is loving this job. Coming down to this last big question, this water complex. Yeah, superbly through the straight route. This has been wonderful to watch. 22, 23AB, bang through the middle. Camilla Hansen deserves a pat on the back for guiding this young horse. Coming home in his second 3-star. It's a super performance this for Denmark. And she's got 4 to go. And well done, it's been an absolute joy to watch. So Zathargo, white blaze down his face, still fighting for the bit, saying, yes, Mum, I've got this covered, thank you. And he well does as he pops through the last combination. Those double of boxes. Camilla Hansen has jumped a superb clear. Well done to her. She crosses the line. I'll be fascinated to see her time because she's kept up a quick enough pace. It wouldn't be a long gallop stride, but it's been zippy enough, and it's a clear round, crucially, for the individual for Denmark in the Lotto Trophy. I can give you the final scores that are in now for Laszlo Egyed. I can tell you did take the long route in that last water complex. So he is clear jumping with my win for Hungary. 34.4 time penalties and 78.4. And yes, I suspected they were quick, and they really are. Camilla Saber Hansen, she is only 9 seconds over time. She adds 3.6 time penalties, and 48 is the Danish completion score. And at the moment, that is good enough for 4th position behind our leaders, Yoshiaki Oiwa, the only one inside the time. Wills Oakton 2nd, Francois Lemierre, France's leading man, 3rd on 41.1. And Camilla Hansen is in super company, up into 4th position. Well, we see, sadly, a run out for the young German, Pauline Knorr. Has an early blip, I'm afraid, with Starlight. Her own 11-year-old gelding, bred up in Oldenburg in northern Germany. Now this course, as we thought, it's intense, it's technical. All the twisting and turning for the horses just to retain their concentration. So problems evenly scattered around the course in the early stages. But now Paulie looking to sort the damage out and does a very good job through 9 and 10 AB. She's just back from shoulder surgery, and that was a gutsy ride down over 11 as well, just trying to wake up Starlight and say, come on, it's the big time here. You've got to give me 100% effort. She had a big fall in Marbach earlier this spring. As I say, an operation was needed. She only did her first competition just last week in Le Moulin, at the 1 and 2 star level. Got the all clear before Le Moulin, so early stages in her recovery. As the new starter is underway, and we start the second rider rotation with Italy kicking us off into the second riders. It's Sara Bresci on course with Midolino. Pauline Knorr sees a long, beautiful forward stride into the first water complex. Very well ridden, I must say. She came positively, didn't rush Starlight into that corner, just waited for a holding stride. It came up very nicely. Elmar Lesch this is, on the early part of the course. Individual for Germany this afternoon aboard Heike Kirkuth's big Lancelot. One of the older horses in the field at 16 years of age. He's been a wonderful servant for Elmar Lesch. The 58-year-old, he's got some incredible number of eventing starts. I'm afraid it goes wrong at 10 AB for Lancelot, but Pauline Knorr has really got things together quickly. I must say, after that early run out, I'm impressed by the recovery job. Elmar Lesch has to represent Lancelot. As I was just saying before his run out, it's an incredible record. 421 international eventing starts since 2002. I counted them by hand before Le Moulin. It was quite a few hours in the middle of the night after a long trip back from Bromont with jet lag, and I had to keep myself entertained. Unbelievable record. Paulie Knorr gets very deep in the main arena. And sadly, yes, Starlight has a little option, but to clatter out that frangible front bar of the Oxer, I'm afraid that's going to be 11 penalties, more than likely. So Paulina Knorr travels with Starlight back to final water complex. They jumped that very well again. Looks happy enough, and I would imagine that's in light of her recent injury. Just delighted to be back at this level, regardless of the stop and the likely 11. Now Marlesh is looking a little bit awkward at the moment, I'm afraid, through the first water. But with that early run out, the early indications are a little bit alarming for the seasoned German. Sara Bresci, oh, beautifully smooth. Middelino just locks on that snaking serpentine. Triple at the top of the hill, but now Great Britain are back to battle. Alice Dunstan sets off like a scalded cat, away with Sambo on the cross country. 33.1 for Alice. After Wills Oakton gave Britain a super start, let's see if they can really now consolidate. So Paulina Knorr travels down to the finale, and well done. Only 22 years of age. She had a very good young riders and juniors here in Strzegom over the last 5 years. And Starlight does complete, yes, with the one refusal at 7B and that pole down where Elmar's just coming now, but recently back from surgery. Good job for the young German. Sara Bresci on the buckle. Now that is interesting, such trust and partnership. She doesn't need to gather up the knitting again. She just trusts Middelino will keep on his line like he did up on top of the hill at the Serpentine. Very promising start for the Italian. Well, Marlesh has gritted his teeth and said, come on now, Lancelot. Just coming to this last water, and he sensibly ducks left-handed. He's going to take this step up, I think, to the house. There's 3 options here, essentially. This is the longer round the houses route. You can jump that house and cut left, jink behind one of the houses and take the corner on. That's the sort of middle line, or the longer route that Elmar just took. Alice Dunstan, Sambo is pricked as they hug the ropes to turn into this Ursus tractor double. Strong riding from Alice there. Just had a little moment where it caught his eye a little bit full on, and he was like, ooh, hang on, mum. Alice just clamped her legs on and said, it's okay. There's the straight routes. And now, yeah, confidence can build as they power out over that huge chicane at the bottom of the hill at 8. Sambo, the Serpentine combination, 9 AB to 10 AB. Going straight and powerfully through. They take the flag. We couldn't quite see from the right angle if it's okay, but look to me, the horse jumped the apex of the fence. And Alice Dunstan is really riding from the seat of her pants out there. She's going for it. On the other spectrum, Sara Bresci just looks so nonchalant and composed with Middelino, and they are breezing back across the road onto the final run towards the finish line. Well, Sambo looks to be attacking 6:24. Yoshiaki Oi was still the only one to come home inside the time. Just to confirm the score, in for Paulina Knorr was given the 11 in the main arena. Evidently, 20 jumping, 31 it is. Time penalties of 26.4 for 57.4 on the cross country. Paulina Knorr's back in business after surgery, and 94.1 is the score she carries into show jumping. Well, Sara Bresci is through the last combination. And Middelino, I love the feel of this round. It's just been so trusting. And Italy's number 2 is going to come home. Of course, the 2 run-outs for Marco Biasia has got the Italians off to a stuttering start, which Sara Bresci rectifies some of the damage. Alice Dunstan, yes, is clear of the corner. The Lotto roll top and corner out of the second water, and Sambo just gets a wiggle on, just presses her hands forward to encourage him to accelerate, because I've just come across the 5-minute marker in towards the main arena. That was a quick snapshot of Sandra Gustafsson, Sweden's number 2. Of course, the problems for Linda Algertsson, retiring on course, have rather put the cosh on the Swedish challenge, I'm afraid. And that is why Alice Dunstan is riding like a woman possessed here. She's 32 years of age and back from a super 4-star result in Le Moulin. She was 28th there with Cool Investments. And Sambo now over that hanging meaty log into the third water. Turn to this last big question. Come on now, Alice Dunstan. One more big push here, and she's through it. This has been a real exhibition. Alice, a former master of the Surrey Union Hunt, and you've seen all of that hunting skill, the determination to clamp your legs on the horse and say, there it is, you've got to jump it. And Alice is now hurtling back into the last run towards home. Sambo 11 by the brilliant Jumbo, the sire of Andrew Nicholson's triple Burghley champion Avebury. Back-to-back victories for AB, 12, 13 and 14 at Burghley. And look at the lick here for Alice Dunstan. This has been great to watch. They've been together for years, and that partnership has really shone through when it mattered for Philip Searle's efforts, because Britain battling after 5th place in the dressage. They can play a bit of catch-up, I fancy, with his 2 superb performances from Wills Oakton, and now, yeah, there you see Philip punching the air. Alice Dunstan's done the business perfectly. Wills Oakton added 4.8, and I am fascinated to see the time for Alice Dunstan. What a round for Britain's number 2. Well, we talked of great rounds for Britain, and didn't Hannah Pavlak get Britain off to a, Poland off to a great start? As now Marius Kemper is going to try and follow up on fantastic Frida's sensational round. He's away with the very smart actually, I think I've got one ahead of myself here. I thought it looked like Marius Kemper, but in fact, yes, apologies, it is Marta Jack Gerlich on the course. Very similar looking horse, that's my excuse, and I'll stick to it. Ecolog to Las Van Radovics of Matthias. Later you'll see. But it is Marta Jack Gerlich just steadying this Polish bred Ecolog down to the straight route here at 6A and B. Yeah, kept a strong tempo into that mound double. I think you've got to, bearing in mind it's a long one stride up on top of the hill. And Ecolog 42.6 after the dressage. He's 11 years of age. He's sired by a full blood in Dunba, out of a mare by Veritas, who's a half blood, but yeah, sadly going to be a real discussion here, because Marta Jack Gerlich clearly thought she was on a good distance that first Ursus tractor. Ecolog ducks left. An early 20 for the Polish number 2. We're just tackling the longer routes. But this is Sandra Gustafsson. You had a flash view of her earlier. She's got 2 half-brothers in this Nations Cup in Strzegom. This is the first of them. It is Kvadrat, competing his only second 3-star. He went beautifully in Wiesbaden, his very first for 5th position about a month or so ago. And Sandra Gustafsson is riding superbly. She is still clear, and she's heading into the back of the course. Well, Marta Jack Gerlich, despite that run out at the Ursus tractors, is very gutsy, I would say. to regardlessly tackle that serpentine line and navigate that slippery arrowhead beautifully. And it pays off, as now we see the very experienced Harold Ambrose. Dr. Harold he is, Dr. Harold Ambrose with lexicon on the early part of the course. Quadrat, pegs on landing through that final combination, but luckily Sandra Gustafsson tight in the plates. And that is a very good second three-star completed for this Swedish pair. Really good horse for her for the future. And we'll see her with the half-brother Coordinat to come a little bit later. Ecolog is pricked at the first wall of this big granite wall. 13. The boats at 14, and now this corner. Yeah, was careful there. Didn't sort of charge forward through Marta Jack's hand. He just waited patiently. They tackle the first water with aplomb. I can tell you the time has come through for Alice Dunstan, and it is the absolutely perfect round because Alice and Sambo, Britain's number 2, hit the optimum time square on the head, 6:24 exactly. It's the perfect round. It's like Yoshiaki, there were no time penalties within 1 second of Yoshiaki, but even better, incredibly. Well done to Alice Dunstan and Sambo. The perfect round for Philip Searle. Ooh, that was very close. We'd have to see a replay. I think they were okay, but you'd need to see a head-on view to determine if the horse's shoulders were the okay side of that red flag. My instinct is yes. That's going to be an interesting one for the grand jury of Nick Burton, Jane Tolley from Great Britain, and Xavier Lesource from France. Ecolog has really improved around the course. It wasn't a big mistake at 7 by any stretch of the imagination, but they've gone on very confidently after that early disappointment, which has been an impressive display of strength and determination. Ecolog down to this socking great rail, third water. Important here to get your line well, so you can really come off the corner in a strong canter. If you're going for the 3, or if you're going long, you can afford to just power down a little bit. Ooh, Ecolog living a little bit dangerously here. Nothing he could have done, of course, just tripped over that sand island. But well done to Marta Jack Gerlich. She's ridden very intelligently after that early disappointment. She's been positive. She's taken the odd long route. But now we focus on Germany, because this, the young lady, who was absolutely superb. That was Marie Crack, the caption, but that is definitely Harold Ambrose. We'll see Marie Crack in a moment. Marie was the dressage leader, 26.1. Ecolog is just coming home across the line. Marta Jack Gerlich has weathered Marcin Konarski's storm impressively. They have the early 20, but they complete, and I'm impressed with that. Harold Ambrose, Austria, through that second water crossing, and then he's very quick to accelerate away from the water with Lexicon, which is absolutely crucial in obtaining the optimum time out on the cross-country course. But now we see Marie Crack, the dressage leader. Havana Club rips through the Ursus Tractor double at 7. Very positive starts from this 26-year-old German. She's based up in the north of Germany, up in Schleswig-Holstein. And Havana Club looks very keen to get on with the job. He's saying to Marie, yes, Mum, I'm feeling good. I'm ready to fly around the course and maybe win the Lotto individual trophy. And a lot of home interest here for Havana Club as well, because he was bred in Poland. He's side by Massandra. The Dabs are here, Cardiff. They've had 9 podium finishes together since 2011. Really impressive. And they make that combination look like child's play. That was beautifully done by the dressage leader. Harold Ambrose for Austria. Lexicon. Well, he's in the back seat. Really kicking and scrubbing through that final water crossing, but it's working. Is up on our screens that he was awarded 50 penalties, we believe, for missing a flag at 7B. We'll wait for confirmation, but looking likely to be a victim of the 50 ruling. Harold Ambrose frustratingly, but Marie Crack. Havana Club pop through the picture frame. Looks as sweet as a nut here, this young horse. This is their 4th CIC 3-star start ever in their career. And they've had a great 3-star record. 22nd at their debut in Wiesbaden back in 2015. They were here in the autumn 3-star of 2015, a great 2nd, and 17th in Rensveld in the Netherlands this year. So they're liking advanced international eventing as Harold Ambrose delighted to come home. Lexicon, we just have that one issue to resolve at 7B, but Harold Ambrose is delighted. And the Austrian completes. Only the 2 sadly today for Austria. In fact, less, because Margaret Appel, she withdrew. That news came through, so Space Jet didn't start. In addition to the problems for Katrine Kodem-Hazrati in the dressage. So just Harold Ambrose on the track for Austria. Sadly, their team was decimated with a few unfortunate incidents. Well, on course now, really hugging the right side of that double of verticals at 6. Looking to capitalise on the good round for 8-time François Lemieux, the trailblazer for the Olympic champions France. We welcome Christopher 6. He's just tracking these influential Ursus tractors. Had to really hold the line there because Totem de Bressy, his self-Francais grey, was just bulging into his left shoulder a little bit. And Christopher did a very good job of holding the line there. Ooh, got very deep into 8. That would have been a little bit up in the sort of the face of the Eiger wall in Switzerland. Right up into the teeth of that Trakehner. A little self-Francais though, pinged out of a deep spot. And what is impressive about this pair is that they've done precious few competitions together at any level. This is only their 4th international start. It's their debut at 3-star. They've got 3 2-star completions behind them. Last outing was a very good 2nd home in Jardy at the CIC 2-star in France with a double clear. But as I say, they're very low on mileage. So this is a big ask coming to the Nations Cup in Poland. But Christopher 6 is still very focused. And Totem de Bressy comes down to this serious granite wall into the first water. Marie Crack is still really going superbly, just the last to go. And that was a breeze in the park for the young German. So good to watch, their 4th 3-star only. And that was a wonderful round. They tackled the course so confidently. And their dressage lead is still intact. We wait for the time, 26.1. She can afford 4.2 penalties to keep on the same score or better. than Yoshiaki Oiwa. 4.2 or more would put Yoshiaki Oiwa into the lead. We wait excitedly for the score in for Marie Crack. And Chris for 6, yes, he's beautifully through the second water complex. Again, Toten Bressy boots out the red flag, but no problems. Well, time's in for Marie Crack, and she does come over that window to keep ahead of Yoshiaki Oiwa. She finishes on 6 minutes and 46 seconds. It was a wonderful cross-country round, a little bit down on the time. Indeed, 22 seconds outside the optimum, but it's 8.8 time for Havana Club, and 34.9 puts Marie Crack into a brilliant second. That was a lovely smooth round. It's early days in their advanced career, but the future's very bright for the former double junior European champion, Marie Crack. Chris for 6. Powers down to the big hanging log. Tucked into Bressy, still looking really up for this first 3-star course, and it's demanding for a first timer. But here we go, the teeth of Marcin Konarski's wind, and Toten de Bressy, yes, he's okay. I'm pretty sure that was through the flags. It was a little bit awkward. Kind of banked the brush corner with his back legs, which popped Chris up into the air. Would have had a bit of a clonk on his jaw, but that'll be all forgotten later in the bar to celebrate a brilliant debut performance. Like he's just got some 4 fences left to come home. But now we watch. We'll come back to him in a moment. Ben Vogue is on course. But now we also are joined by Maria Pinedo Sendagorta away. This is the lovely Karen van Kolen-Zed on the early part of the course. The Spaniards dressage 41.4. But this now is Ben Vogue. 25 years of age from Switzerland, with the oldest horse in the field, Noe de Vati, in his final year after a simply glittering career. Ben's opting for the longer route. Seen those having a run out at that. Very slippery brush arrowhead, and sensibly opting for these dark logs on the right side of the straight line. And that, I'm sure, partly because Ben very much has got the World Equestrian Games in Tryon firmly in his sights. That will be Noe's last run if he can get to Weg, and I'm sure he's bound for the USA, barring injury. And what a career. It's a world record-breaking career, because these guys, they've done junior Europeans, young rider Europeans, seniors. They then went to the Weg in Normandy and also completed the Rio Olympics. First combination ever to do the full house. And I know Ben, he was commentating with me yesterday, and I commentate down in Radolfzell, the Vogue's family event. And they're a lovely family. Danielle, mum, and Jürgen, Ben's father, here supporting. And they're all willing Noe on his route to the World Equestrian Games to bow out of a breathtaking career. Quite deep into that granite wall at 13. These guys know each other like a good old pair of slippers, as Noe de Vati is clear of the corner. Well, talking of great sibling partnerships, both Ben and Felix rode in the Rio Olympics, as did Maria and her sister Christina. Both rode in the World Equestrian Games in Normandy 4 years ago. And Karen van Kolen-Zed powers through the Ursus tractor double. It has been influential. Just set off at a nice, sensible tempo, not really burning rubber on the early part of the course. But this horse has got some serious blood in him, because he goes back to Nasrullah. Nasrullah in the ancestry of Gard Kerr. This horse is Dam Sire, the full-blood Dam Sire. And the great Nasrullah, one of the huge names of racing. So Karen van Kolen-Zed can certainly stay, I would imagine, as Marina Pinedo Sendagorta smoothly through that line. That was beautifully tackled. Very much in a similar mould to Sara Brescia Midolino, one of the best through that serpentine combination we've seen this afternoon. And now the Spaniard just starts to press her foot on the accelerator. Trains with Elmar Lesch up in North Germany. As Ben Vogt, Noida Vati now also starts to rev up Noe, the Anglo-Arab. He'll swing down into this socking great hanging log. It's like a Trakehner feel, except there's water, not a ditch below it. Noida Vati well in now. Ben will cast his steely gaze, left-handed. Roll top to corner. Little stride in. He's playing safe here. He decides that the bigger picture, the FEI World Equestrian Games in September, has got to be his top priority. With this oldest horse in the field at 17, it's a sensible decision from the young Swiss star. And Ben Vogt is heading for home. And what a year, what a final year it's going to be for this simply brilliant combination. Sadly, we see Karen van Kolen's Z grinding to a halt into the second water for Spain, I'm afraid. But Noida Vati is not grinding to a halt at all. The oldest horse in the field still looks absolutely in the mode here. He's jumped a peach with Ben Vogt, and they are set fair for the World Equestrian Games. This is a crucial step in the ladder before the trip across the Atlantic. And Noe, Ben just says, hang on, old boy, I want to add a stride here. Whatever you want, and that is a very good round completed. Well done to Ben Vogt, and well done to Noida Vati. It's clear, and we'll wait for their time. Maria Pinedo Sendagorta has remedied that one refusal back into the second water crossing of that blue-yellow Lotto vertical at 18. Hard to say exactly what happened there. Just looks a little bit caught off guard almost. As now she's going to power up round this corner. Eye up the line. She's going straight here, regardless of the earlier problems. Again, very gutsy from Maria Pinedo Sendagorta. That is really brave to tackle the straight route there. But now we focus on the brilliant Belgian Joris van Springel. The railway station master is on course. And this is his lovely 10-year-old Imperial van der Holtak is on the course. Belgian pair through and through, because this guy, Belgian warm blood, he's sired by the great Quidam de Revel. Out for a mare by Argentina, two mouth-watering show-jumping stallions. Joris trains with the world #1 in show-jumping, Harry Smulders, and also recently Dirk Schrader added to his coach portfolio. Beautifully through the first water. Absolutely sweet as a nut. And Joris gives Imperial a little pat on the getaway. Well, Karen van Kolen Z takes off maybe a stride early at the final fence with Maria Pinedo Sendagorta. Just that one moment, sadly at 18. Just one blip on an otherwise very good performance for Spain. Just completed. Imperial turns into this bolt upright vertical. This horse is really eating this course up very nicely here for Joris van Springel. As he heads off into the main arena, it'll be just crossing the 5-minute marker point right about now. Joris is now 55 years of age. He started an incredible 7 European Championships, 4 Olympics as well. His best European finish was in 2007 at Pratoni del Vivaro in Italy. My first live commentary at the Europeans was also in Pratoni. I called Joris home. That was with Bold Action. 9th he was in the lovely, recently renovated Pratoni del Vivaro, just local to Rome. And this horse has got a brilliant cross-country record. No surprises when you see this kind of positivity. And when you bear in mind the experience of Joris van Springel, only 4 cross-country problems out of 27 starts. And his show jumping, no surprises, is very good. About a 50% clear round strike rate in the final phase tomorrow. And Joris now is going to take on this corner. Of course he is. He gets it really well. Beautifully through. Homebred by his owners, the whole trust company. And quite a funny story because Joris nearly lost the right to Jos Lansing. Jos declared not quite good enough for top-class show jumping. Joris got a phone call from Jos and he said, "Take him back, please, Joris." Joris said, "He's no good to me as a stallion." So Jos Lansing said, "Well, right then." You pick him up from the vets in 2 days. Gave him the snip, and that's why he's now in eventing. But now, Linda Algertsen on the second homebred for her this afternoon. Fair Spot is away. They did a super dressage, 26.3. To lie just 0.2 behind Marie Crack after yesterday's opening phase. This horse only in his second 3-start. His debut run was in Marbach earlier in the spring. He went very well there. Just 20 it was out on Gert Heiber's interesting cross-country course around the Schwäbische Alps venue. 20 it was at the big interspace down the hill, where poor Pauline Knorr injured her shoulder. But I can just see him very goggle-eyed. Fair Spot is he's nervously looking at the men, fixing something, probably a cable out the TV compound across the road. So an early warning to Linda that he's a little bit starstruck here. Looks to be jumping the fences well enough, but I just hope he's concentrating on the task in hand and not looking at every Tom, Dick and Harry on his way round. Linda Algertsen, Fair Spot. Homebred again by Margareta and Bo Christa Algertsen. Their southern Swedish base. And this brilliant pair of individual silvers at the 2 Europeans. The turn of the millennium. Real high point to this lovely Swedish jockey. Gives him a pat there. You can see he's a little bit goggle-eyed, but he's still getting on with the job well enough. I just hope they can sustain his momentum forward when he's just having a good look, and as you can see, it's a bit of a problem. It's not the fences, he's looking at the photographer there. Linda's just got to try and keep him focused. As you can see, he's... Oh, what's that, Mum? Oh, something else I haven't seen before. And that's because he's only 9 years of age. But now we start the third and final rider rotation. And Italy's Simona Sordi is on the course. The Italians with mixed fortunes. They had the problems, sadly, for Marco Biasia. Marco with those 2 refusals out on the cross-country course. But the great round for Sara Brescia has improved the Italian fortunes. That was clear with 16 time penalties. So Simona Sordi to anchor the Italian efforts. I can tell you the position after 2 riders. France in the driving position, 105.8. Britain has done a great climb after the dressage. They were 5th after yesterday. Britain with those brilliant rounds from Wills Oakton and Alice Dunstan, and now 2nd, and that is only 3.2 penalties behind France on 109 exactly. And then the others struggling. Poland has climbed up. That super round from Joanna Pawlak. And Marta Jack Gerlich has put Poland into third on 178.9. Italy at the moment in fourth on 184.6. And Sweden with the problems, sadly, and they are continuing. Sweden in the FEI Nations Cup are back markers on 311.5 as we stand. That is the position leading into this final rider rotation, which the man coming into our picture is the first of the 6 to come. 6 because Austria without a final rider. And this is Amakutsi on the course for Simona Sordi. Beautiful Irish-bred 15-year-old he is by Marcuzzi, owned by the organiser of the opening leg of the 2018 FEI Eventing Nations Cup in Vairano, owned by the great Giovanna Mazzocchi Bordoni, the mother of Susanna Bordoni and the president of Vairano, owner of Amakutsi. But now Linda Algerson has really got to use all of her experience here to muster fair spot towards home. Yeah, he looks to be focusing a little bit better now. Just taking it all a little bit more in his stride, not quite so snaky looking at all the surroundings, despite that one early refusal. Simona Sordi takes on the difficult serpentine combination. He jumps that superbly through the middle. Well, Strzegom has been a very happy hunting ground for the Algerson and Ostol clan, because Sarah won the CCI 3-star here back in 2013. Linda won the very first World Cup in 2003, and Frank won here, Sarah's husband, in 2007. So it's been a brilliant venue for the Algersons and the Algerson Ostols and the Ostolts. As now fair spots rounds his back, that classic bascule in over the hanging log. 21. Now this, what is riding better than I think anticipated, final line. The last difficult line in any case. There is one more combination to come, but it's ridden much better than expected. And fair spot just takes out the right flag, but no question of an error there. So Linda Algerson, the same performance as Marbach, their debut with 20 penalties on the card, is running towards home. Simona Sordi, Amakutsi, down through the Lotto, second water crossing, super turn to the corner, really made a deliberate turn. Thought you've got to just open the line up a little bit, go a little bit right, to give the horse a little bit more time to really sight that narrow front. And Amakutsi hits the flag, but Simona Sordi is going very well, as has fair spots. The 9-year-old heading to the last fence with Linda Algerson. I like this horse. He's got an active brain for sure, and he's just going to learn what he's got to focus on and what is by the by. I think she'll be very happy with him as she hacks across the finish line. And just those 20 penalties coming at 15A. Well done though, the second 3-star cross country is safely completed. Simona Sordi has ridden flat racehorses. He trains racehorses as well in Italy, but he's relatively inexperienced at this level. He's just celebrated his 40th birthday as Amakutsi. Huge jump into that final water, arced his back. Wow. And Simona Sordi just puts that little curve in, and Amakutsi is heading for home, eyeing up a super clear. He is Susanna Bordoni's partner, and they are based at Vairano, and it's been a great round about to complete. But now, focus, because Johan Lundin, Sweden's anchorman, is on course. Johan, a real veteran of the eventing world circuit. He rode in the World Equestrian Games in Aachen in 2006. 4 senior European rides as well. 2 with Major Tom, Bretonian Punchestown, and 2 with his very good other horse, Johnny Cash. As Johan Lundin this afternoon is aboard. Mind Me, this one 12 years of age, an Irish sport horse, bred by Elizabeth Power's mother, Mags Power, bought out this ride of Johan Lundin. And there you just catch sight of Coral Keen, anchor lady here for Britain, aboard the horse that's been twice around Le Moulin's 4-star. And Coral Keen trying to again elevate Britain. Real battle now on between Britain and France for pole position after the cross country in the Cower Team Trophy here in Strzegom. Well said. Fair opposition, drops down into this lotto line. Big jump at the roll top, and yeah, the stride was going to be awkward to that corner because he just ballooned over that roll top in the water, but somehow managed to improvise to come out without a scar. Philip Selwood would have had his breath held there. The British chef to keep. Super side shot of Johan Lundin. Mind Me hacks down to the pair of vertical rails on the mound at 6A and B. And the Swede nicely through the middle. Their last outing was at home in Sweden at Stromsholm. They won the 2-star there, but only the 4th outing as a pair for Johan Lundin and Mind Me. But now, Coral Keen in full cry here. In the similar vein as Alice Dunstan half an hour or so ago, as the big bay stands 17 hands or so, powers into this 3rd water complex. Coral Keen hold the line, and she does. Ooh, it's a little bit jerky. Hit that wooden front of the corner hard enough, but well said. Fair opposition is flying towards home. But now Mariusz Kemper comes into the start box. He's the Polish indoor eventing champion over the Winter Series, and he looked in superb shape in Babarofko's 3-star about a month ago with both this horse and with Libertina. He made his senior debut here in Strzegom last year with Grand Supreme for the Polish team, and he went very well. He was 45th individually. His starting score 32.3, 11th individually. Also the Lotto Trophy for the individual competition this afternoon. And Poland really eyeing up a team medal because they lie in the bronze medal position. Britain are out of touch, something like about 65 penalties or so ahead of Britain. So Poland can't play catch up, but they can certainly win the bronze medal. As Johan Lundin, Mind Me, well through the 1st water complex. I can tell you the first team score that is complete. That is for Italy. Simona Sordi galloping home. Only 4.4 time for the former race rider. So no surprises, he was quick. And it's 36.3 for Italy's anchor man. And that puts Italy onto 189, which is about 10 penalties behind Poland's score at the moment. So all eyes on Mariusz Kemper to see if he can give Poland a team medal chance. Lasban Radovics very well through those bang up straight verticals on top of the mound at 6AB. You can see why I got Ecolog and this horse confused for a moment. They're not dissimilar in gallop or in appearance, I would say. This horse perhaps slightly heavier in build, but just powers through 7 Ursus tractors. That was great. Poland going very well here, and that was, I think, largely due to Joanna Pawlak's wonderful confident round. As Laspan Radovic sees a great shot at that big Trakehner at 8. And that is Kempa. The first quarter of this Home Nations Cup has looked very smooth. Well, time's in now for Coral Keane, and it's really good. No surprises, very much in the mode of Alice Dunstan and Wills Oakton, because Coral Keane stops the clock. It's 6 seconds over, 6 minutes and 30 seconds, 2.4 time penalties only, and 40.8 has put Britain into a superb position. Their team score is 1-1-1.4, and it's real pressure now on Maxime Livio. Any slip up and Britain are yapping at the French heels for the team title here in Strzegom. Well, we just caught sight of Andreas Dubowski. Germany's anchor is on course, but of course we focus on Mariusz Kempa. He comes down to the picture frame. That's a very solid vertical right in the middle of the ditch. And this horse has been a triple winner over the last 2 years. He won the 2 stars at Baborowko near Poznan and up at Sopot last year on the northern Polish coast. Mariusz just takes a hold at that boat. Good bit of controlled riding there. He had to take a pull over the middle element, but the corner comes up beautifully, and Johan Lundin gets a thumbs up from Fredrik Bergendorf. That's a good round there, completed. He was on 34.4 coming out onto the cross country, and it's clear jumping for Sweden's anchor man. Well done to Johan Lundin and his new horse, Mind Me. Well, all eyes on the top of the leaderboard individually as well, because Yoshiaki Oiwa still is leading 30.3. It's relevant now though, because Mariusz Kempa is within touching distance. He's on 32.3. If he could go inside the time, not impossible I would venture to say. I think unlikely, given the rather heavier nature of Laspan Radovic compared to some of the other horses, but we will see. If he could be inside the time, he would be within a fence of Yoshiaki Oiwa's lead into show jumping tomorrow. But as you can just see, my feeling is there's going to be some time here. But maybe not for this man, because it's the full thoroughbred. It's Me off at an absolute gallop. It's Me, the winner of Le Moulin's 4-star in 2016. And Andreas with 2 horses on the long list for Germany for Tryon for the World Equestrian Games, has started off in superb fashion. Mariusz Kempa, circle, swings round to this final water complex. Just gets the corner. It was a bit of a juggle there to tackle 23AB on that line, but he gets it. But now Debo starts to power down the hill towards this big Lotto ditch and brush. It's Me is tearing up the ground, I tell you. He's already onto the main part of the hippodrome on the home run. Well, not the home run yet, but on the run towards the big water complex. And Poland will be very happy with this sight, because Mariusz Kempa has now got 3 horses really succeeding at the big time. He's got Libertina, he's got this horse Laspan Radovic, and his European ride Grand Supreme, so he has got 3 at the highest level, and it's a super completion for the Polish anchor man, Andreas Dubowski. Well, he's going to be inside the time, no question. Still only the 2 inside, Alice Dunstan bang on with Sambo, and Yoshiaki Oiwa. 6:23, the quickest round for the Japanese jockey. But Andres Dubovsky is absolutely carving this course up. Really good here. Based in the north of Germany, up near Lemühlen. Its base is Dörler, near Eggersdorf. And It's Me was already well placed in Lemühlen just a couple of weeks ago. 19th he was there in the Mesmer Trophy. But now things get fascinating because Maxime Livio is on the course. He's a brilliant jockey. He's been up as high as world number 9, Maxime. And it's Opium de Verrières on course for France. 29.4 for him. Real battle now. Traditional eventing tussle between Britain and France. But It's Me is absolutely hurtling along. He's side by Kayasi, goes back to Northern Dancer, the Canadian horse who won the Preakness Stakes and the Kentucky Derby. And his damn sire, Local Suitor, goes back to Nasrullah, so was bred to be a racehorse. And as you can see, absolutely charging round here. Andreas Dubovsky just tears through the final water, and he's heading for home at the absolute gallop. Maxime Livio, the Serpentine triple. Oh, super smooth. Opium de Verrières looking very confident early on as he bowls down the hill now. This Lotto ditch brush at 11. Little pat from Maxime just keeps the horse's confidence high. And he's got a great ground covering stride as Debo, his goggles eye up the last combination. You need goggles at this kind of a speed because there'll be a bit of dust here and there to keep Debo's eyes protected. It's been a brilliant round. It must be the third clear inside the time. And the Lemühlen 4-star champion of 2 years ago completes a simply storming round here in Strzegom. Little rattle on top of that granite roll top for Opium de Verrières, but Maxime Livio sits tight in the plate and he gets a quick getaway. As now we see the first of our individuals to complete this fascinating FEI Eventing Nations Cup, leg 3 here in southern Poland. That was Matteo Luciani we just saw for Italy. And back now we go, the Lotto table. And this pair, we can't just focus on the team battle between France and Britain. We must also look at the individual position because 29.4. He holds a lead of 0.9 over Yoshiaki Oiwa. So 2 seconds over the time, i.e. 6:26 would be okay, but not 3 to retain the lead over the Japanese ace. Opium de Verrières eyes up these two gaping oxes in the main arena, and Maxime Livio just skips through there for fun, and he's quickly out of the main arena. Matteo Luciani at the Ursus Tractors. Early question at 7. It has been influential. Across diagonal line there competently. Matteo only 29 years of age. Has been with Leopold since 2014. Maxime Livio now. Left side of the Lotto roll top. Ooh, little bit dicey on that line. He really had to funnel the horse through with his hands and legs. He did a great recovery job there. It wasn't a given that Opium would jump that corner, but it's a crucial save from the tall Frenchman, who now is again flying towards home. Oh, Leopold K pops through that Serpentine triple combination very nicely. I travel back from Marbach with Mattia's dad, Luca, and he told me about his son's talents. He's loved his riding since a very young age. And this horse, produced all the way by Matteo Luciani, as I say, since 2014. They had a super win 2 years ago at the lovely Floresti Horse Trials, just local to Bucharest in Romania. Won the 3-star at Floresti. Had a very good double clear to win. This year tuned up at Pratoni del Vivaro, 7th there in the short format 3-star. And then also went to Vairano, 12th there in the CCI 3-star. And that was a very beefy captain, Mark Phillips, cross-country course they tackled well there. It was a good omen for Strzegom. But now we welcome James Somerville. He's out on the course. And James aboard the horse that completed badminton, his first badminton completion this year. It's Talent away. Last for Philip Searle's British team. He starts as an individual this afternoon on this 12-year-old by Eurocommerce Toulouse. Matteo Luciani just anchors Leopold K. The German 10-year-old through the Lotto second water, but as straight as a die. And that really because Matteo just made sure he had the control in his hand, and then he had the accuracy. Really set that corner up beautifully before the second element. Ensured he had control. James Somerville from Boroughbridge in Yorkshire. Talent just plays with 6AB. Came up beautifully out of the gallop. Talents well through the Ursus tractors with James Somerville. The Yorkshireman drops down now to this socking great Trakehner. Talent, 12 years of age, 35.8 was their dressage. Matteo Luciani again has got Leopold well anchored before this final Lotto water. Yeah, opts for that slightly curved line on the 4 strides. He jumped the roll top a little bit right to left there on the angle, just to set up that right-handed curve to make 4 a possibility. Oh, James Somerville, as good as we've seen through that serpentine triple, beautifully through. And Talent is pricked, looks right up for this Strzegom Nations Cup course as he balloons out over the ditch and brush. Great start. But now one of the youngest horses here in Strzegom, only 8. Same age as the Ukrainian horse who fell into bother earlier. We welcome Philippa Magnusson is away on the course. Philippa aboard Caesar. James Somerville travels with Talent down towards this opening of the 4 water complexes. Sees his stride a long way off, and Talent looking very good here. That is secure as a rock from James Somerville, absolutely no question. He got the line very early and he just set the horse up beautifully for that corner, and it's a very good start for Britain's anchorman. Of course, exciting times for Britain. European champions here last year, and the long list has just been announced for the World Equestrian Games, and I must say the British team looks fairly unstoppable to my eye. I've got my money on a British team gold come try on. And we spoke to James and he said how exciting it is to be part of that sort of confidence, the programme. Richard Waygood, Chris Bartle and Philip Searle, the team trainers, all working around the clock to get Britain back on top of the world, as they started to do from Strzegom's result last year, but to topple the likes of French, or the French Olympic victory, and the Germans who've been so dominant over the last decade is no easy task, which Britain's now starting to turn its attentions to, and Talent is looking very good here. James Somerville is coming to the 3rd water complex. Well, a badminton completion this year. It was a wonderful effort. Just had that annoying frangible at the Mitsubishi Motors Trophy. But James Somerville is coming of age here again. It is his first Nations Cup for Britain. And he is now gunning towards the finish line. As 39-year-old Philippa Magnussen up at that serpentine triple. Very good from the 8-year-old down that demanding right and then left-handed curved line. It's only their third three-star ever this weekend, so early days for this pair at Advanced Eventing. Their first ever run was 2 years ago in Hovdala, around John Nicholson's demanding one-star course. James Somerville just summoning the control here from talent, hopefully. Because this strong bay looks very hungry to come home here. He's got a lot of petrol left in the tank for sure, but James did get the control there that he needed. So, the youngest horse in the field, along with Kadans, the Ukrainian horse Caesar, at the first water complex, bred by Ulla Magnussen. I'm guessing Philippa's mother at home in Sweden. He's beautifully through the first water. As we now see the third last out of the blog song cross-country day here in Strzegom. Antje Schoeninger set sail. FST Schoen's Green Quebec is on the early part of the course. Well, Caesar, the son of the Danish warm blood, the Holstein father Crelido. Back some great jumping names, Cordula Briere and Rantzau. Cottage Sun giving the blood on Crelido's side. Caesar. Well, brilliantly through the second water. The big FST Schoen's Green Quebec powers on in a languid, but I fancy ground covering gallop. And Schoeninger brings her German-bred 15-year-old by Quattro powerfully through those vertical rounds at 6A and B. They start on 32 after the dressage, lying in 10th position, all to play for. Philippa Magnussen as well, in with a cut of the Lotto individual trophy, because 33.1, if they could go inside the time. I think it's a big ask for this young horse, but if they could, they would go on to the same score as Alice Dunstan, who's sitting in third at the moment. I can now confirm the team scores because James Somerville's time is in, and James is 7 seconds outside 6:24, 6:33 it is for talent. They add 3.6 time penalties only. It's 4 superb rounds for Britain, including their individual James, and 39.4 is the final score for James Somerville. And I can now confirm the team scores after cross-country. With that great round in for Maxime Livio, I can confirm Maxime was only 5 seconds outside of the time, so he added 2 time penalties to finish on 31.4 and just dropped down behind Yoshiaki Oiwa. So that does mean that France are leading after cross-country, 107.8. Their completion score. Britain are in the second position after cross-country, and they trail France by only 4 penalties, 111.4 it is for Great Britain. And Poland, hats off to the home nation, they are third, 187.7 in third. Italy, Simona Sordi's great anchor round has put them onto 189. They're in touch of Poland for the bronze. It's a real tussle because only 1.3 penalties separate the home nation and Italy. And Germany, surprisingly, are our back markers on 313.3. The Germans lying 5th. They are the 5 team scores we can give you because of the misfortune, I'm afraid, for the other teams out on the cross-country course. And Schoeninger brings a big Quebec. He's got a big bowling gallop, and his jump style's the same. It's kind of languid as he sort of eases out casually over that oxer, exiting the first water. Well, this is a good, powerful round here from Antje Schoeninger. And that is a real surprise because sadly, Martin Chamillon, he was lying beautifully after the dressage on 31, has had a refusal at that first vertical at 6A, I'm afraid. He takes the longer route on the right-handed side of the mound. But Quillan Menjulet has an early 20. But Martin Chamillon, to his challenge, falters because he was 7th after dressage. The big Scherns Green Quebec lopes through those oxes in the main arena. He was homebred by Antje's father Günther at their German base. And this year he completed the 3-star in Marbach in southern Germany for 18th position. Martin Chamillon, Quillan Menjulet over the big Trakehner, the yawning ditch below it at 8. Scherns Green Quebec into the final water. Oh, he's beautifully on a sit-tight, Antje Schoeninger. Oh, my word. He was so honest to take off from a long way away. She miraculously stays in the saddle to hopefully come home. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome the final competitor of the 2018 Strzegom Nations Cup cross-country. Sandra Gustafsson is on course. Already won super clear with 10 time penalties for Kvadrat, and Coordinat is the last out on to Marcin Konarski's cross-country. Martin Chamillon. Quillan Menjulet rather chips in over that big ditch and rails. Just a run down to this imposing granite roll top into the first water complex. Granite mined locally to Strzegom. You see the big trucks taking the granite all over Europe. As Martin Chamillon securely through the straight route there. That was a very good job after that early wobble at 6A. Martin is 34 years of age. He's quite a newbie to top level eventing. When you bear in mind he started only at 22. A lot of riders will be competing internationally at 15 or 16 even. He had his first restart. Oh, what a shame for him. Grinds to a halt into that water complex, that yellow-blue Lotto vertical, not its first scalp, I'm afraid. And Quillan Menjulet now's on the cusp because 2 problems. 3, of course, and it's game, set and match with elimination, so we wish them well on the home journey now. We've got to really sit down and grit his teeth, try and dispel the negative thoughts and just be confident and focus on the job in hand. Not easy to achieve in practice. And Sandra Gustafsson with this half-brother to Kvadrat, who was clear earlier. Coordinat has had some time off, but he's a lovely little compact chestnut. And as you can see, he can really adjust his stride as the little horse have that advantage. Sandra now 30 years of age. She is based at her parents' stables at Lundhagen stable near Kunzbacka, about 30 kilometers south of Gothenburg. Gothenburg hosting the European Show Jumping and Dressage Championships last year. launching FEI double act and also the carriage driving. We're in Gothenburg. That's Coordinat just balloons out over 9A. Unreal for Sandra Gustafsson. Martin Chamillon, that hanging rail, so big into that third water. Now, this final water crossing, well done. Quillan Menjulet is surviving. He's a little bit battle scarred with the problem at 6A and again at 18. Martin Chamillon, we must have a big amount of respect for nursing this horse home on only their second three-star course together. These kind of courses, when they're technical and intense, it's a really steep learning curve, but great to see the educational factor of Marcin Konarski's course, that a horse that's had a couple of problems can still come home, as Sandra Gustafsson gives Coordinat a little reminder into that first water. And the Swedish ace guns through the straightaway there very nicely. She teaches a lot as well at the Nudhallands Riding Club locally to her parents' stables. As Martin Chamillon now exits the final combination. 32 jumping efforts in total on the straight lines here in Strzegom. And he's at the 26th fence, the finale to come home. Coordinat, this little pint-sized chestnut, turns in the second water, and yes, Sandra Gustafsson gets the corner nicely. And she gives Coordinat a little confidence-giving pat. Sandra's parents, Helena and Kent, running the Lundehagen stable at home. And she also has huge thanks to her grandfather, Bengt Johansson, who owned her super horses Hot, Top Select and Kaminsky, which really set her off on her super career path. So thanks to Grandad. Coordinat got a little bit deep. Lucky to scrape out of that one without any activation of the collapsible uprights. See the grease on his legs in a moment, just designed to let the horses slip over the obstacle if they have any contact. Coordinat is bolt forward. Again, deep enough to that hanging rail, and Sandra's now really got to muscle him. Will she take the three-stride direct line or opt for the curve? Yeah, beautifully through the middle. Coordinat gets a pat, well done. As we said earlier, he's had a little bit of time off, this lovely chestnut. So super to see him back in action. And a pair of lovely horses for Sandra Gustafsson to really now nurture up at top level. Kvadrad only 9 and his half-brother is 11. And he's by laptop, so will be a good show jumper come tomorrow. And the dam sire here, Robin Z. And Coordinat pricks his ears and running down to the final fence here in Strzegom, as the Lotto Individual and the Cower Team Nations Cup trophy comes to a close here. Sandra Gustafsson at the final combination. And Coordinat, he's only about 15.2, but he's beautifully nimble and athletic. And well done, Sandra Gustafsson has 2 super clears across country. Mind you, I'm absolutely gobsmacked. I've just looked down at my screen. We didn't see them on the early part of the course, and amazingly had a refusal at the brush at 3. I can scarcely believe my eyes, but they did pick up 20 penalties early. We didn't see that, I'm afraid, and the news comes in, and it's a surprising 20. And the final score to give you is that Coordinat has 21.6 time penalties in addition to those 20 jumping penalties early on the course. But they've certainly improved on the home journey. And Sandra completes with her second ride on 77.1. And the Nations Cup cross country on this beautiful afternoon here in southern Poland has completed. And I can just remind you of the position. We go into show jumping to decide leg 3 of the 2018 FEI Eventing Nations Cup, and the winners of the opening leg in Vairano. The Olympic champions France are on top, 107.8. It's a narrow lead, only about 4 penalties, because lying in second is Great Britain after the great European Championship victory here last year. Britain in great form again in Poland, and Philippe Searle's 3 went superbly. 111.4 is a British tally, and the home nation has done superbly out on the cross country to really climb up after the dressage. Poland are in third with a great chance of a team medal on 187.7, and then it's Italy. The Italians only 1.3 behind Poland. It's a real battle for third position, and Germany surprisingly are our back markers. Hans Meltzer's team on 313.5 in 5th position. And we have a look for you at the individual position here in Strzegom after, well, a thrilling cross-country course. We've seen excitement, drama, and some wonderful rounds completed. And only the 2 inside the time, and the first man to achieve that was Yoshiaki Oiwa. And the lovely 11-year-old Kale, and Yoshiaki is in front on 30.3. Japan head Strzegom individually on the battle for the Lotto Trophy. In second, Maxime Livio was superbly smooth with Opium de Verrières, and it's really tight because he's only 1.1, so no fence in hand into tomorrow's show jumping. The Frenchman is poised if Yoshiaki Oiwa falters in second. Alice Dunstan, the best round of the day, because hitting 624 right on the nail, and Sambo again is on 33.1, within a fence of the Japanese leading total on 33.1. Marie Crack, the dressage leader, she added a handful of time for 8.8, so Havana Clubs dropped out of the lead but still sitting pretty handily on 34.9. And 5th position is France's Christopher Six. This incredible start at international eventing for him. He's a rookie on the international circuit. And Totem de Bressy rounds out the top 5 on 35.3. So the end of a superb cross-country day here on FEI TV. We hope you've enjoyed the action, and the summary is it's so tight both for the Lotto individual trophy, with nothing separating the leaders, and France, they are in the lead, but it's tight enough with Great Britain. It's going to be a fascinating conclusion to leg 3 of the Nations Cup here in Strzegom. Join us tomorrow for the final show jumping phase. That will kick off at 3 o'clock Central European time, 1500 hours. From myself, Ed Holloway, we've enjoyed bringing you the action. We'll see you tomorrow for the conclusion of leg 3 of the FEI Eventing Nations Cup here in Poland.